day, but you see this line of police that had made a huge advance down this road here outside the police precinct here, the 5th police precinct here in Minneapolis. That whole intersection right there was filled with hundreds of people until literally 1 minute ago, as these vehicles and line of police officers advanced, throwing tear gas. As you see them in there, tear gas filling that entire intersection, and everybody has scattered running towards us. If you look to the right here, you see how many people actually were inside as they are raising their hands there. But look, curfew started less than an hour ago at this point, and this was the night that the governor, officials, and law enforcement say that they were going to stop the rioting and looting and the violence that we had seen play out over nights before. So you see protesters here launching back whatever law enforcement is throwing back in here, but there is so much gas that has been launched again in just the past 2 minutes or so that you can barely even see that line of officers right there. It looks to be state patrol officers right now. But I can't emphasize enough that that intersection was literally filled with hundreds of people until literally a minute and a half ago. And now we are at a standoff where you have a line of police right in front of the 5th Police District here in Minneapolis. And you have the protesters that, again, literally were in that intersection just a few minutes ago, Don. This is a scene that we almost expected to see in some ways because we had not seen any sort of law enforcement.
Yahweh, Bashim Yoshai, Bashim Kahakwadash, Kabad Lahazakonyum, Shaga Masa, Wahab Bayat, Shad Dawada, Wahab Karim. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Abanawa, our Father, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Alright, what you see here is an example of the scriptures manifesting itself upon the earth, man. And I'm going to get straight into it, man. All right, this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men." All right, when you get into that word sedition, conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against authority of a state or monarch. All right, and this is what was going on here, all right, in Minneapolis. People are rebelling, man. All right, people are rebelling against the powers, man, that be, man. Right here in Babylon, all right, as the scriptures say so, man. Scriptures say in these last days, people will be rebelling against their government, man. All right, to go farther along in that scripture, so I can finish reading it. 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their own power," man. All right, and we are at the beginning stages of all of these, of all of the scriptures manifesting itself, man. All right, it's slowly but surely, man. The scriptures say there's a time for everything. All right, and if you check what time we're in the time of sedition. We're in the time of hate. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "Everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing." And this is the times we're in, man. We're in the times where it's a time to refrain from embracing, man. All right? And it's a time to cast away stones, man. Because guess what? The kingdom of Yasharallah is being built, is manifesting and being built in front of the people's eyes, man. Brothers is coming into the truth, waking up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. And why the tabernacles of David are being built. Guess what's happening in the tabernacles of Edom? All right, they're being broken down. Because the scriptures say Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we're in these times where we're in that time of hate. There's no more time to love, man. All right, we're in that time to break up. All right. The scriptures say so, man. All right, we're in a time to to break down. All right, as it says here in the third verse, it says a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build. We're in a time to break down. All right, because the tabernacles of David, all right, of Yasharallah is being built up, man. All right, so now this city, this Babylon, the kingdom that we're living in today, has to be broken down, man. All right, this kingdom has to be broken down because it's a balance, according to Yahweh Bashem Yashai. The Lord is about a perfect balance. All right, and to get that, I'm gonna get a few scriptures to prove that. This is Proverbs 11:1. It says, "A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight." So we know that the Lord is about a perfect balance. And to go further into it, it says, "A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weight of the bag are his work." Right. So good and evil. All right. The righteousness and wickedness. All right. Love and hate. That's a just balance according to the Lord, man. All right, and all the weights are in his bag. It's all his work. Scripture say a man's goings are of the Lord, so everything is of his hand. All right, and I'll prove that here real quick. Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 28, also known as the book of Sirach, says, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In a time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them." Right, so the Lord creates plagues. The Lord creates sedition among men. The Lord creates hate and love. All right, and it's all in the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. All right, that's an example of the Lord's balance. The Lord creates spirits for vengeance. All right, he'll create spirits for revenge. All right, this is Proverbs 20:23, and it reads, "Diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord." All right, so anything that's not a perfect balance, all right, if it's diverse and it doesn't add up, all right, to a perfect balance, the Lord looks at it as an abomination. All right, too much love is an abomination. Too much hate is an abomination. But the Lord works in a justified manner to the point where it has to be a perfect balance. If there's a vibration of love going throughout the earth, it's going to happen for a period of time. But then that vibration of hate has to go out through the earth. That's the Lord's delight, man. All right. Anything other than that is an abomination unto him. Proverbs 20:23 says, "Diverse weights are an abomination unto Yahweh, and a false balance is not good." All right. So we got society teaching and preaching a doctrine of love everybody, love your neighbor, love your enemy, right? But guess what? The Lord said there's a time to hate and there's a time to love. All right. And to love everybody is to love your enemy and not exercise hate. That's a false balance. And the Lord said it's not good. All right. So when you look at that clip, that's an example of the Lord's balance, man. There has to be a balance. When you see hate, you're going to see love. When you see love, you're going to see hate, man. And we're in that time where the Lord is manifesting these things upon the earth because everybody's been living peacefully for a while, except Jacob. All right, the rest of the nation's been living peacefully for a while, and they've been able to exercise their power in this wicked kingdom that the world calls America, but the scriptures refer to it spiritually as Sodom, Egypt, and Babylon. All right, the nations were able to live deliciously off this place. So now it's the time for them to reap in which they sow. All right, now it's the time for them to spew that stuff out. All right, this is the Lord's balance. All right, when we see clips like this is an example of the Lord's balance, man. Sedition among men. This is prophecies. All right, this is all manifesting through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. You know, and I just want to touch on that real quick. I don't want to through the spirit, you're edified. With that, say shalom.